Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Loveworkers, and Wayshowers. It is 916-2019. As I record this under the beautiful full moon energies coming in fully, with the divine goddess energies rising up, rising up, rising up. Many codes coming in today. The 111 just came through several times. I connected this today with two of the Divine 44, the 13th in the Laughing Buddha, Divine Goddess of the West, that will be anchoring the codes in Las Vegas, and Divine Goddess in the East, anchoring the codes and frequencies in Rhode Island and Connecticut. So with the Divine Goddess this evening, as we discuss the three Dantians, the Trinity, the 33, and the 333, on the way driving home, there was a sign when my headlights hit it that reflected back into my eyes, the 333. And then when I was researching a few things for today's transmission from the Dream Spell Journey and the Mayan calendar, the 3333 is coming through, which I will discuss here in a few minutes. Also today, getting into my car at 2:22 p.m. As I crawled into my car, it was 77 degrees outside. So these codes are just coming in constantly now, consistently, daily. So let us know what you're experiencing in the comments below. Also, this evening a code came in for a love worker for receiving activations tonight, and you'll know who this is. The code was Misty1, M-I-S-T-Y, 1, the number 1, Misty1. So we have a massive portal opening tomorrow on the 17th, another on the equinox of the 23rd and into the 24th with solar flares coming in. Also today, many earthquakes around the world, especially on the west coast, the ring of fire. Also our prayers go to our brothers and sisters in Zimbabwe. It's been reported that they're having massive water shortage, fresh water shortage. And the government was talking about jacking the rates up 900% so that no one could afford the water that is available. And in the past, I put this out into the field, into the consciousness of humanity. I had developed a system using alternative energies such as wind and solar to bring fresh water to all beings in this realm. It never came to fruition, but it's a simple process. Water is one of the most abundant resources on the planet, but yet every day there are divine brothers and sisters that transition from dehydration or dirty water, lack of water. And I know it would take some major funding for this to come to fruition, but with all the money that is wasted on useless, stupid things, this is a very important thing. Water is one of the most important resources for survival, so it should be one of our highest priorities. Now people may ask, how can water be such an abundant resource? Well, look at the oceans that take up 80% or more of the land mass in this realm. And I know it's a process to desalinate the water to make it safe for drinking, but it's actually a very simple process. Our brothers and sisters of the hills that create moonshine are doing it with simple tools from the junkyard or from their backyard. It's the same way to make moonshine, called distillation. It's the heating up of water and then the steam rises like a distillery. The steam collects and then you can filter the water and drink it and have virtually infinite fresh water. And this could be done using electrical current, heating up with electricity, using wind and solar power. So I'm just putting that out into the field for the collective to pick up and some entity to take off with. So today's transmission from John Smallman: you are all perfect manifestations of the Divine One. The most important subject with which humans have to deal is love, which is their true and only state of being, or their apparent lack of love they experience while they are in form as humans. But of course there is no lack of love, because there is only love, which is the infinite field of divine energy in which all sentient life is lovingly and eternally held and embraced. Love is found within. There is nowhere else that it can be, because there is no without, there is no outside. Outside is unreal, as nowhere is the unreal dream world of form which lasts only as long as the sentient collective that is experiencing form chooses to maintain it. Initially, when form was first established, the flow of sentience that vivified it was so tenuous that it had practically no presence at all. As form evolved, sentience became slowly more clearly manifest, allowing form to become ostensibly real. Senses then developed that felt, saw, tasted, smelt, and heard its environment through those forms, and as a result of those sensations, sentience began to identify with the form in which it found itself. In form it seemed to be separate from other forms, and experienced a sense of alienation, abandonment, a sense of being lost or not belonging, and from this unsettling feeling fear arose. There had never been fear, because in reality, in the field of love, there is nothing to fear, because all is one, living in perfect peace and harmony with itself in a state of eternal joy. Fear is the main limitation that is experienced through form, and from that all other limitations arise. You could say the words limitation and fear are synonyms for each other. When people rise above their fears or move through them and beyond them, limitations just fall away. You have a saying, feel the fear but do it anyway, and those that do appear to others to be fearless. They are not, of course. They are simply not allowing their fears to rule or control them. In the Gospel of St. John, there is a statement, perfect love casts out fear. And when you engage with love and operate from love, you find that you have the strength to overcome your fear, to cast it out. Judgment, blame, bitterness, hatred, and resentment are limiting attitudes that tie people into beliefs about right and wrong, beliefs that are frequently invalid, that makes it almost impossible for them to have meaningful discussions in order to resolve issues that are dividing them. Love is unconditionally accepting of all and will listen to anyone without judgment. When love is intended and demonstrated, all issues can be satisfactorily resolved without blaming, shaming, or punishing, and all will feel honored and respected when the resolution is achieved. It is the ego that constantly demands a person's attention and demands that its opinion be honored as the truth. But the ego's perspective or perception is fear-driven. Whenever you feel emotionally or psychologically unsettled or uncomfortable, your ego is in the driving seat, especially noticeable when actually driving, as irritation arises seemingly as a result of other drivers' unreasonable or dangerous behaviors. When you accept and deal with what arises in your lives without making any judgment and without feeling any need to judge, those feelings dissolve. Love always honors and respects all with whom it interacts, all sentient life. It has no need to judge or separate beings due to color, race, culture, social standing, or creed, because those seeming differences are only differences of form, an aspect of the dream or illusory world, which is the only state in which it is possible to experience form and all its limitations. You are all perfect manifestations of the Divine One, Mother, Father, God, Source, experiencing itself in the only way that it can, in myriad reflections of itself, that allow it to know itself in every aspect of its infinite and multifarious creative possibilities. You are one with Source, and you have been since the moment of your creation, enjoying with the One the infinite variety of magnificent, beautiful, and amazing creative expressions that it chooses in every moment to be. At the same time, or in the same eternal moment, as a human in form, you are experiencing the unreal, a state of limitation and fearfulness in which conflict is ever present, seemingly threatening your physical existence, your life at all times. And until you remember that you are eternal spiritual beings, have a temporary and unreal experience of life in form, fear, and the conflicts that arise from it will seemingly guide and rule your behaviors, your lives, because your behavior is your life, is who you are until you remember. It does seem to you that life is a one-time event, and that when it ends you cease to be, a terrifying thought. Many attempt to collect or gather an abundance of material possessions that experience has shown long outlast a human lifetime, in order that they be ever remembered through these artifacts by the tribe or culture to which they belonged, and your cemeteries overflow with memorial stones and ornaments to those long since returned to the non-physical realms. People are terrified of being unseen or forgotten. However, as eternal divine beings, you are always seen. You are permanently in the sight of God and can never be forgotten. As love fills your heart, as you begin to remember that you are indeed spiritual beings, have a temporary experience in form, fear falls away, and with it the need to collect stuff. Many of you know loving souls who have very little in the way of material possessions, and who are supremely content and happy. And in the age of your awakening, more and more of you are choosing to move away from materialistic wants as the dawning realization or awareness of your true nature becomes more firmly felt. Love flows through you just as you and Source have always intended. This awareness starts to dissolve the egotistical fears and needs that have for eons encouraged and led to conflict, instead seeing that all are one and that what an individual says, thinks, or does affects all. The individual now knows itself to be either lovingly acknowledging oneness or finds itself blindly and egotistically attempting to maintain the unreal state of separation. With this awareness becoming ever more consciously present, service to others increasingly become the motivation for action, and personal peace and satisfaction replace the previous and almost constant sense of need that had been motivating and guiding its path through life. Life is the field of divine energy in which all exists interdependently. It is love from which no one is separate, even for a moment. And when this is recognized, it is impossible not to behave in a manner that is intended to be for the benefit of all, and doing this is intensely satisfying. Oneness is realized, known, and lived, bringing lasting happiness that deals appropriately in the moment with all that arises and needs to be addressed by beings informed. This is what your awakening process is all about, and it is proceeding apace. And that was from James Smallman. From Elizabeth Peru, 48 hours until Saturn moves direct. Can you remember back to late April 2019? It may seem like a lifetime away now, but that was when Saturn moved retrograde, and ever since we've been undergoing a complete personal responsibility overhaul. There's a cosmic reason why the past 5 months have been tough going on many. We've endured friction to polish the pearl. Today from Dreamspell Journey by Valon Votan and Bolonik. Welcome Wavespell 6 of the White WorldBridger. Unify in order to equalize, attracting opportunity. Power of Death, 13 days from 16 until 28 September 2019. The Wavespell. This Wavespell is the second one of the White Northern Castle of Crossing. And bearer, Kin 66. Magnetic WorldBridger encodes 33 plus 33. Consequently, it represents the double power of 33. The WorldBridger is seal number 6, therefore this wave spell represents the power of 6. The sign of WorldBridger comes from the original Maya glyph of Kimi, which signifies death, and it represents the Maya Lord of Death and the Lords of the Underworld. Most ancient civilizations, including the Maya, practice the cult of the dead and the ritualistic communication with the ancestors. Exactly, the dream spell transcreation of the WorldBridger refers to the interdimensional realm of death and the ability of crossing between both sides of the veil. In this way, the WorldBridger invites us to explore the multidimensional realms through the power of death and the guidance of the ancestors. Exactly, this is the sixth sense power of the third eye, telepathy, intuition, and time travel. 16 September 2019, NS 1.32.2.25, Kin 66, White Magnetic WorldBridger. The code and the mantra for the day. I unify in order to equalize, attracting opportunity. I seal the store of death. With the magnetic tone of purpose, I am guided by my own power doubled. Also another 33 that came through by October 1st. I will have connected and exchanged codes with 33 of the Divine 44. Aho, brothers and sisters of the light. Meteako Yasin. To all our relations. all our families, our ancestors, our brothers and sisters in all realms. We are here united. We are in unity consciousness. The separation programming has ended. We're just living out the final stages of that programming of the false 3D matrix. And as I connect with each of the Divine 44 as this mission to uplift all life, all humanity in all realms, the energy is rising. The codes are manifesting as all 12 strands of the crystalline DNA are being activated, and this extends out through the field to uplift, activate all starseeds, love workers, way showers, that will then affect and go out into the field to connect with the collective consciousness, with the collective awareness of all sentient beings in this realm, connecting all realms, all dimensions, all timelines into the still center through our heart center as we manifest new earth together, united together as one essence, one energy, the collective consciousness. So thank you for joining us today. 1122 coming through the field. Let us know in the comments below this video what you're experiencing through these major event energies, galactivations, activation portals. Let us know what you're thinking, seeing, feeling, hearing, your visions, your dreams. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos such as this. Click the little bell next to the subscribe to get notifications. I'd also like to thank all the love workers, light workers that have joined us on the mission for the Healing Retreat Center in Ecuador, South America, where the eagle flies with the condor. This is the time of prophecy. As we transition to time is art, as we tap into our full creative potential to manifest from our heart's desires for pure awareness for all life, all humanity. If you'd like to join us in raising funds for this retreat center and sustainable community, you can join us in the CBD business at cbdpeaceoil.com. I'll put that link in the description below. So thank you for your love, your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. Namaste. I love you all.